Hi everyone! So I am here in my flat in Leeds and I've been here for about 4 days now, and I wanted to make some kind of like video for first day in Leeds, but it was actually super stressful because the day I woke up to leave to go to Leeds, I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, flight cancelled. Great. So we had to get on the phone and sort that all out, and I ended up taking a plane to Detroit, and then from Detroit to Amsterdam, and from Amsterdam to Leeds, and then we took a taxi from Leeds, the airport, Leeds Bradford, to the plaza, which in Leeds the buildings don't have numbers, so it just kind of takes you to like the general area of where the building is, and then you're like, alright, now we gotta figure out where the building actually is, so that was interesting. But I made it, and I checked into my building, got my key and everything, and then we went to this little store called Wilko's, which is where I got all of my like dishwasher fluid and stuff. It's actually like really cute, like look at this. So I know that soap isn't like super interesting, but like look at the name of this, ready? Grease Lightning. That's my dish soap. And it's like pink, and it's raspberry and hibiscus, like, and it was £1, hey. And then this is Cheerio Germs. And Bye Bye Bugs. Like, I love it. And it's so colorful. Like everything here is really colorful. There's like bridges that are painted in rainbows, and like, I don't know, everything just has like some color to it. Like I got this package of stuff for my kitchen and everything was all different colors. Like the spoons were purple and I had like a yellow knife, and then the like, I think I had like an orange cheese grater and like a red colander. So that was like cute. I like the different colors. And then of course I got plasters, which are band-aids. They call them plasters. So that's a loud siren. After I went to Wilko's, we went to Morrison's, which is like my grocery store, and got some like basic groceries to hold me over for a few days, and then we just were like scoping out where's this. The grocery store is actually really big and it has a lot of produce, and like there's a different aisle for different cultures. Like there's a whole aisle for like Asian food, Mexican food, which I thought was kind of cool. A whole aisle for like Indian food. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad at grocery shopping, but I thought that was cool. And then the produce aisle is really neat because they have like seconds fruit that you can buy, and then you can get like 6 kiwis for £1, which is pretty cool. And then we kind of just walked around my area. There's a Costa Coffee, and that's kind of like a Starbucks, and they do like coffee art on top of your coffee, which is kind of cool. And yeah, after that I went to sleep because I was super jet lagged, and the next day we checked out like the shopping in the Leeds area, because the area that I'm in is very like urban. It reminds you of like DC, and then the shopping area is like insanely huge, and there's a million of these arcades, which are like little enclosed walking malls, and they are like ornately decorated and like very colorful. They have all this like crazy architectural stuff and paintings on them. They're like very stunning, and it's just like where you go shopping and buy a new pair of shoes. But there's like probably 5 or 6 of these arcades, and then this huge walking mall, which is very beautiful, and there's like stores, like the Body Shop is there, a couple like indie clothing brands, and then the arcades are kind of like on the sides of this walking mall. And then there's a huge indoor walking mall. There's another indoor mall that's like high-end, so I got to touch a Gucci sweater that was £1,500. Yeah, and when you walk into that particular mall, a man in a top hat lets you in and out. So fancy. So that day, my mom, my dad, and I all decided that we were gonna get each other's birthday presents since we wouldn't see each other for our birthdays. So we would just shop around Leeds a little bit. And we went to this place called the Corn Exchange, which is this big circular building. And there's shops all the way around, and there's a little balcony, and stores are all the way around there too. And one of the stores was a camera shop, which was really cool. They had a tattoo parlor, a hair place, leather store. And then they also had a plant shop. So I got this little guy with a student discount, which was really nice because I didn't have my student ID yet and I still don't. So I got this little string of pearls. I really don't want to kill it. Like, I'll keep you updated. I'm really gonna try. We'll see. I don't know. Let's hope he's with us at the end of this adventure. But then another one of the stores was this really cool print shop where they had posters of like movies and music, and they also had a bunch of pins. I'm a sucker for pins. It was 5 for £2, so I got a bunch of those, and they're all like band pins. But the main attraction here is this really cool print I got of the solar system. It's like the grand tour of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, which I thought was pretty cool. So I got that for my room, which is nice because when I got here there were a lot of white walls and I hate that, so gotta cover those up somehow. And then down one of the arcades there was this really cool bookshop that had like comic books and photography books and things like that. So I found this book, which I really like, called 101 Movies to Watch Before You Die, and it's like really cool illustrations and then like the reason why the author put that movie in this book. And then I found this other book called Mean Girls Club, and the back said, "Prepare for a mad dash of boozing, skull-busting, and general mid-century mayhem as they deliver a swift stiletto stab to the crotch of the patriarchy." Who could resist that? Like, let's be real, okay? And then we went into the store that was like a British JCPenney, and I found this shirt. It has all these flowers on it, and I was like, yes, she's coming home. So that night we ate at a Korean barbecue place, which was kind of like the melting pot. If you've ever been there, there's like little grills in the middle of your table, and you get like raw pork and steak and mushrooms and stuff, and you like roast it, and then there's a bunch of like Korean sides. It was really, really, really good. And then I had the most amazing plum honey tea I've ever had. It was like eating a plum. It was amazing. And I've never had plum honey tea, so still the best. Still the best. The next day I got my British SIM card for my phone so I can text people who are in this country and kind of all around Europe, so that's kind of cool. I have a couple people that live in different places in Europe that I can like text them now, which is kind of fun. So then we went to Leeds Minster, which is a big cathedral that is very stunning, and this very nice lady showed us around, and there's some really truly stunning mosaic work in the front of the church, and then there is also some like tombs that were found because there's like different pieces of different churches kind of like sewn together onto the church, if that makes sense. So we kind of explored that, and they had a little World War I memorial set up in the church, and then she got us some cream tea, and I got a couple postcards because I do collect those, so I am very excited to come home with a stack of postcards this thick. Then we tried to go to the Leeds markets, which is essentially like a giant flea market, and I was really not about that. I cannot lie. It was kind of overwhelming. There was some fresh produce, but we'll see if it's worth the trip into that very chaotic area. Again, it did have some really pretty architectural work on the ceilings and like some very beautiful paintings. Then we went to the Royal Armories, which is this very large collection of like war gear and hunting gear, armor, swords, that kind of thing. It has artifacts from England, China, India, several different cultures, and even has this really cool elephant armor, which was really, really neat. And then that was actually situated on Leeds Dock, which was this really pretty area that kind of reminded me a little bit of the Inner Harbor. There's not as much to do with Leeds dock, but it has the same kind of feel. And then we took this free water taxi back to the area that I live in, which is called Headingley. And the guy on the water taxi told me about the Leeds Light Festival, which sounds really cool. It's like this big light festival, and there are different lights and artwork that has to do with lights all over the city of Leeds, and that happens on my birthday, which is pretty cool, and I'll have to check it out. And then we had a pint at the pub, which, you know, you have to do that. That's part of the whole experience. And then afterwards we went to TK Maxx, which is like the TJ Maxx of England, and got some Halloween decorations. I got like ghost tea towels, and then a wine glass that says "Drink up, witches." So, ready for Halloween. And then we had dinner at a Caribbean restaurant, which was really good, and I had so much food. I got to eat it for lunch today. And they had fried plantains, which is like my favorite food of all time ever. So that was a great day. And then today I've just kind of been catching up on sleep because God knows I need it. I'm still really jet lagged. And I went to the grocery store. I made like a proper shopping list and everything, so that was like my first real self-sufficient trip to the grocery store. And it was kind of terrifying because I had no idea where anything was, and I was in there probably 3 times as long as I will be in the future once I get the whole store mapped out. So I think this has been a really good start to my adventure. I've explored all over the kind of shopping district and in this area that I'm in right now. Obviously there's a lot more places to go, like I want to get out to the countryside of York, and there's just a couple other places that I found on like Pinterest, and the college just recommended to me that I gotta go out and see. But other than that, I think it's been great, and I can't wait to start my induction next week. That's kind of like the welcome week, and I have different things to do every week with just international students. So I'm gonna meet students from all around the world before I meet the students who are right here in Leeds. Of course, I do have 4 roommates, and I'm looking forward to meeting them all tomorrow when they move in. But other than that, I'll have to let you guys know how welcome week has gone and what other adventures I'm getting into. See you then!